Dave Smith gets into a heated debate with the PBD Podcast hosts. Hey guys, you're watching Bring the Asteroid. Make sure you like today's video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll get into it.
Libertarians, over 95% of voters either don't know who libertarians are, or they see us as, even if they agree with us, even the majority of libertarians, self-identified libertarians who do not vote libertarian, the reason they don't is because they see us as a joke. They see that they believe that we can't get elected, and they think, well, why would I bother doing that? I'm going to try to figure out which side this time is marginally better than the other.
Would you say that stat one more time? 95%? What?
Well, I mean, look at the numbers. Like the highest we've ever gotten is 3-point-something% with Gary and Bill, and that was in a time with uniquely with terrible candidates with Trump and Hillary, like unpopular candidates. Trump didn't have the following he did in 2016 that he did in 2020.
Who's the most popular libertarian
right
out there? The
at
most
6%.
popular.
I'm polling it now in New York State about 6%.
Well, no, but in the country.
country,
who's the most popular
for his
libertarian?
95% people?
Who's
I'm saying
vocal?
nationally.
Yeah,
vocal?
nationally. Who's
Now,
the most popular libertarian?
Clint Eastwood is not vocal, okay? You got
Eastwood is 185 years old.
Vince Vaughn is not vocal, okay?
Wish.
You got Rand Paul that's very vocal, but you know, again, Republican. He didn't run as a libertarian.
Yeah,
he
he's
ran
kind
as
of
a
a
Republican.
hybrid.
Yeah. You know, you got Ron Paul, who is the OG, the guy that knows how to sell it better than anybody else. But he's aging. He's not. You know, so there's a few of them. I mean, Joe Rogan could be. He voted for Joe Jorgensen.
Yeah.
He's supporting the Libertarian Party. But you know, those are the names. They don't have like
you need a face.
But hold on, guys, please,
here?
I'm the guy running. Let me tell you this right now. Let me be very clear. We do have faces. It's just hard. We got guys like Shane Hazel running for governor in Georgia. We got Mark Tibbetts running in Texas.
If I've never heard of the names you're saying, then you don't have a face.
We have Ricky Harrington.
If I have to go Google
Andrew.
Ricky Harrington,
Yes.
because I've never heard of.
By the way, go
him
Google
and
Ricky Harrington.
Whoever
Do that.
Tidbits is,
Yes.
you're missing the point here, dude.
I'm not. I'm here trying to get this out.
You need you need a Tom Hanks. You need a Rock. You need that.
Okay,
Even
but
if we
it's
had
so
a Tom,
clear.
Even
No,
if
I
we
agree
had a
with you.
Tom Hanks or a Rock, we still have to show people how our ideas work.
That's not the debate, though, Spike.
but no.
Clearly, you guys know what you're talking
Yes,
about.
but please,
Clearly, you have great policy.
Let me deal with this for 1 second. I'm telling you why they're not coming to us. Because we don't have the infrastructure to support them. It isn't our ideas. We require infrastructure. Why would you run libertarian when you'd have to fight to get enough people on the ballot? You'd have to fight to get on the ballot, period. You'd have to fight to get signatures, fight to come up with a bunch of people who could support you, fight to find a funding base. You don't run libertarian because you don't care about libertarians. You don't run libertarian because you can get a.
Are you
can
saying
get
But
that
I don't
Donald
even
Trump
think you're
or
saying-
if The Rock ran as a libertarian, they'd have a hard time
Yes,
being
that's
successful?
what I'm.
They'd have a
Yes,
much hard-
way.
they'd
Well,
have a
no,
much
you're
harder
right.
time.
Let me be
They
very
do,
clear.
yeah.
I'm sure behind the scenes you're right,
I'm not
but you
telling
would
you.
get so many eyeballs and
Does
so
not
and
matter.
millions
But
of
that's
Americans
that's the difference
would
between
wake up.
Adam's glasses man, not a good look.
More votes. Yes. Would they win? Absolutely not. And
Thank you.
another big part of that is.
But that's the step-by-step process.
It is step by step, but there's another step by step process,
not
which
see
is
me
that
doing that
the
now?
majority
Yeah,
of
but I don't know if you're
voters.
popular enough. I like you. I think you're charismatic.
The majority.
You're not The Rock, bro.
Guys,
Let me
finish
hear what
this.
Spike
Just
is saying. Hang on
let me
one
finish
second.
this
Yeah,
one
go
piece
ahead.
here.
Okay.
If you were correct, then Michael Bloomberg would be our independent president. He's not. But why? The system is set up to not work. I don't think I'm going to save the world, but do I think I could be the guy who sets it up for the world to be saved? Yes, I do, because I am building out the infrastructure, as you said, step by step. Like we're not doing it. I'm literally here doing it.
Kudos.
It is being done so that in 2024, in 2028, when Kurt Russell decides to come aboard, or Drew Carey, both libertarians, when one of those two guys come aboard, we have an infrastructure set. They're happy to do it, or whomever is The Rock comes over. We don't have enough to give them now, but we have to build up, and we are. And it takes local people building up local groups, local infrastructure, donor bases, PR bases, all those things to make that happen.
Well,
Long
can I?
before-
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Spike.
Well, and the vast majority of voters, long before they trust a libertarian to handle the wars or China or immigration, they want to see how they handle their pothole in their neighborhood. Like libertarians have won hundreds of local races, hundreds out of literally tens of thousands. We've won 0 statewide races. We've won 0 federal races. We won 0 of them. Yes, there's ballot access problems and everything else, but there's an even bigger problem, which is that most voters, even if they hear our ideas, they go, yeah, that sounds great in theory, but how how's it going to work in practice? We need to focus local. We need to build an actual infrastructure for the party to work our way up. Because if we get a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, will he get double digits as a libertarian? Yes. Is he going to win it? Absolutely not. Because people at the end of the day, they're going to go, yeah, Dwayne Johnson, great, Rock, great. But this party, I know nothing about them. They've never won before. What would they actually do if they did won? I'm worried about the kitchen table issues like healthcare and education and housing and the cost of living and everything else. And just the fact that a very popular guy is or woman is running for office is not going to be enough for them to say, okay, I'm going to break free from the system that's been running this country for over 100 years now. We have to build the infrastructure.
So I think we need the.
And that will also bring in the big names. Why would The Rock come
Let
to
me
us
read
right
a
now?
super chat here from Hector Ross. Larry knows what he's talking about. Howard Stern openly contemplated running libertarian as New York governor, but backed out for lack of infrastructure at the time. I have some feedback there, but I want to hear David, and I want to kind of give you what I'm thinking. Go ahead.
Okay, so I tend to agree. I think we're almost talking about different things here. I mean, look, if somebody like The Rock was truly converted to libertarianism and like, I believe this now and I want to be like the champion for it, that would be amazing. I mean, that would be incredible what it could do for us. And so I agree with you on that. But the thing is this, right? You've basically had over the last, let's say 10, 15 years, right? You've had essentially third-party candidates who ran within the two major parties. So Ron Paul was a third-party candidate in spirit. He didn't believe what the Republican establishment did. Bernie Sanders was essentially a third-party candidate, and Donald Trump essentially won as a third-party candidate. However, the way the system is set up, in order for them to do that, it's not to their advantage to go to some third party. It's to their advantage to stay in one of the major two parties. What we're sitting here saying is that the problem is that that never actually works for what our desired outcomes are, which is really rolling back the state. Now, Donald Trump, I agree with Spike, kind of, yeah, if he had run third party, that would have made it a lot harder for him to do what he needs to do. I'd love for that famous person who can move people by the tens of millions to come over to libertarianism. But in the meantime, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to accept that these two parties who have in effect committed treason against the American people, and we know nothing's going to be solved from within them, that what we're just supposed to fall in line because this one is 5% better than the other one? Like, that's not good enough for me. And
I don't think anybody's saying that.
Well, my point is
He's making a decent case.
that this is the United States of America. We deserve something better than that. And so we're going to keep fighting to try to get this message out to as many people as possible to hopefully put us in a situation where we can get somebody like that or whatever's necessary to move the needle. Look, I agree with you. If Tom Hanks or The Rock or some crazy, famous, charismatic person wanted to take up the mantle for this, I'd be thrilled. But since we don't have that right now, the best I can do is try to get on as many huge platforms as I can, speak to as many people as I can, build up our army, metaphorically speaking, not a real state army, and try to, mainstream these views. Yes, a non-aggression army. Yes,
exactly. Well, it sounds like you guys need to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that about the libertarian infrastructure.
Yes.
Like, I'm learning that. We're all learning that. But it sounds like you guys need to build out the infrastructure, but also get someone that gets eyeballs. Because Joe Jorgensen's not the answer. We all know that.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another.
That is true, and I hate to agree with Adam on anything, but no, truthfully, no woman is the answer. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching Bring the Asteroid.